Now at 9, a Muncie carpenter is giving back to the community. Find out how this gesture is impacting the Muncie community.
An alleged serial killer has appeared in court. Find out what this could mean for his future.
3 people were charged in the wake of the LA County wildfires. Find out what for and how it relates to the wildfires.
The Trump administration is rolling back rules for climate change. See how this can affect the future of America.
And I've got the details on the continued spring-like warmth. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cameron No.
And I'm Max Robson.
A Muncie carpenter is doing his part to give back to the community one tree at a time. NewsLink Indiana's Andy Zelaya reveals the impact of the gesture.
Trees are used for everything, from houses to paper and so much more. One of the more common jobs that uses wood is the flooring business. Hans Heitzelman started his own business, but he had quite the journey to get there.
So I went from the crosses to the drums and then to the wood floors because, and all the while it was always just responding to what people wanted,
His business wasn't the only thing that was growing. When Heitzelman wanted to do more for the community, he did what helped him with his flooring business in the first place. He listened to what people wanted, specifically what they wanted to accomplish.
I met a man, Charles Mason. He is a retired Episcopalian priest. And in his retirement, he decided that his new calling was going to be to plant trees. So that grew into, I work with the Red Tail Conservancy, which is a local not-for-profit that puts land in trust for, to keep it natural. So what we do is I'll get the trees and then we plant maybe half of them on Saturday. And then Sunday we meet right out here in the Hub Community Garden and I give away the rest.
Lots are constantly being brought down in construction, and most trees take a while to reach a mature stage. However, Heitzelman believes there's one important reason to give back to the natural community.
If you plant one in your lifetime, you're not going to see it grow to maturity. If no one puts them in the ground, they're not going to exist.
From building a business to growing trees, Heitzelman also helped preserve a historical building, which is right around the corner from his business.
And I bought the building 2 doors down. Started renovating that from the top down. So I tore the whole facade off and redid that in a historical, what it originally looked like.
With all of these projects, Heitzelman's heart always goes back to the trees. In Muncie, Andy Zelaya, NewsLink, Indiana.
If you want to contact Hans Heitzelman, you can go to heitzelmanhardwoodfloors.com. I don't know about you, but my favorite part of spring is seeing all the leaves back on the trees and just seeing them actually look like trees again.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I love just being able to see that, honestly, just the warm weather. I mean, I like seeing the trees, but the warm weather is what really keeps me going. And hopefully this warm weather will keep up with it today with Joe.
Yeah, that warm weather is going to continue, thankfully. As we can see, looking at our current temperatures, 52 in Muncie, 63 in Indianapolis, 58 down in Terre Haute. So pretty nice temperatures as we go into the evening. We are going to cool down as we go throughout the next 12 hours, going from 50 degrees all the way down to 39 by your walk to class tomorrow. But the good news is we are going to rise back up tomorrow. But what am I tracking in my full weather forecast? I'm tracking that first severe threat for the weekend, the warmth continuing, and a gusty weekend wind in my full weather forecast.
The accused Gilgo Beach serial killer appeared in court for a hearing in New York today. Rex Heuermann has pleaded not guilty to the murders of 7 women on Long Island from 1993 to 2011. The defense is pushing to exclude DNA evidence at trial. The judge set a March 28th hearing on the issue. The defense is also pushing to have separate trials instead of one for the 7 victims. Heuermann is currently charged with the 7 deaths in one indictment. The judge said he planned to make a quick decision on that. The trial date has not yet been set.
3 people are facing charges for allegedly seeking federal disaster relief funds fraudulently in the wake of the deadly LA County wildfires. Prosecutors with the Justice Department say the defendants falsely claimed their properties were damaged by the Eaton and Palisades wildfires earlier this year.
These relief funds are your taxpayer dollars and were intended to go to those in need. Schemers who steal or attempt to steal these relief funds do so from each and every one of us. But more importantly, from those whose lives were completely upended by these devastating fires.
The 3 defendants were arrested this week after being charged with defrauding the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
The Trump administration announced today it is rolling back major rules that targeted pollution. In all, the Environmental Protection Agency announced it was rolling back 31 rules. They include those that would have pushed power plants and car makers towards cleaner forms of energy. The agency also announced it is reconsidering a scientific finding that has served as the basis of federal regulations to curb climate pollution. If that precedent is dismissed, the EPA would no longer have the authority to manage pollution that causes global warming.
The Environmental Protection Agency has until Monday to explain to a federal judge why it canceled a multi-billion-dollar climate grant. The grant recipient Climate United Fund requested a temporary restraining order to get the money released. Citibank had frozen the fund at the direction of the Trump administration. In this case, a top criminal prosecutor resigned from the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C. after Justice Department leaders had asked her to investigate the fund and freeze the grant.
The U.S. Department of Education is cutting nearly 50% of its workforce. The layoffs, which started yesterday evening, combined with those who already took voluntary, quote, buyouts, will cut the department's headcount to nearly 2,200 employees. Fully eliminating the department would require Congress to act. The Department of Education was created in 1979 to strengthen the federal commitment to ensuring access to equal education opportunities for every individual. The department has been responsible for things such as federal civil rights enforcement and oversight of student disability rights.
Coming up, the Department of Agriculture is cutting programs. Find out what this means for farmers worldwide.
And egg prices are slowly falling. Learn how this could affect grocery stores nationwide.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
See you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
Hey there, Hoosiers. Are you ready to give your child a head start on their future? Indiana 529 savings plans are a simple way to save for their education. Plus, there are some great tax benefits. The best part? It's not just for college. Indiana 529 can be used for tech schools, trade programs, apprenticeships, and more. Start with just $10 a month at myindiana529.com to help them reach their dreams.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing. And getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life.
This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Find your place in space.
This is my time.
Space for all.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Welcome back. The Department of Agriculture has cut 2 programs that provided money for schools and food banks to buy food from local farmers. The first program provided roughly $660 million to the Local Food for Schools Cooperative Agreement Program. The rest of the money was earmarked for the Local Food Purchase Assistant Cooperative Agreement Program. The ending of these programs will suspend more than $1 billion in federal spending. Some officials have already voiced opposition to the announcement, including the Iowa Food System Coalition and Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey.
Finally, a crack in the egg market, but it's not expected to last for long. According to a U.S. Department of Agriculture market report released Wednesday, the price that retailers pay for loose eggs fell by 15% in the first week of March. It's a sign that the prices shoppers pay could fall at grocery stores. Prices are expected to spike again as Easter and Passover will bring a renewed demand for eggs. The USDA said a lighter demand leading up to those holidays could give egg producers time to rebuild some of their stock. But while supply may stabilize, prices may still increase.
The measles are spreading in Texas. Yesterday, the Texas Department of State Health Services says there are at least 223 cases. That's 25 more than what was reported on Friday. At least 29 of those patients had to be hospitalized. New Mexico also recently reported 30 cases of measles. According to CDC data, vaccine rates for diseases like the measles fell across more than 30 states in 2024.
Our first severe threat of the year looks to bring heavy rain and wind for the weekend. I've got more details after the break.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
While I go to school full-time. While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 Americans are sick of the divisions in our country? But there's one small step we can take to remember that we're still connected. All over America, strangers with different political views are coming together to talk about their lives, not politics, and discovering they actually have a lot in common. Because even if we don't see eye to eye, we can still talk heart to heart. So let's talk for a change. Learn more at takeonesmallstep.org.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back. It was another beautiful day in Muncie today, but we are starting that cool down as we go into the evening. It is 52 degrees here in Muncie, 55 in Newcastle, and 55 in Anderson. So we're dipping into those low to mid 50s as we go into the evening. But the good news is right now it's going to be pretty quiet outside. As you can see, nothing in our regional radars, no rain, not even any clouds. So it's going to be quite the pleasant evening as we go throughout. And speaking of the evening, it's going to be a low of 43 degrees tonight with partly cloudy skies. Winds will be blowing calm northwest at 5 miles per hour. So if you want to go out and enjoy a nice walk, definitely put on a little jacket. But otherwise, it should be a great night. And we're going to see that as we go into tomorrow as well. It's going to be chilly in the morning, 39 degrees. So you're going to want to put on a jacket on when you go to class or work tomorrow in the morning. But we are going to warm up rapidly throughout the day, jumping 20 degrees to 59 by noon and up to 71 by 5 p.m. Those clouds, any clouds that we have overnight are going to dissipate as we go throughout the day, leading to just sunny skies. Now, winds will be blowing east at 5 to 10 miles per hour throughout the day. So another gorgeous day to just go take a hammock or picnic outside and enjoy it before some active weather gets here later on in the week. But before I get to that, these warm temperatures are going to be staying around. As you can see, much of the country in the Great Plains has these warmer conditions, including us here in Indiana in the darker shade of red. So definitely can continue to look forward to these warmer than normal conditions. Out west has a little bit of cooler temperatures, but the good news is we're not out west. We're here in Indiana. So these warm temperatures look to stay at least for a little bit longer. But now for the main event of this upcoming week, this first severe chance of the season. This is the Day 3 severe weather outlook. This is for Friday. As you can see, much of the Mississippi River region is under an enhanced risk. That's a 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, which means a chance of hail, heavy rain, winds, and even an isolated tornado are possible. As we zoom in here on Muncie, our area is split in between a slight and marginal risk for severe weather. What does that mean? Just keep an eye out for any conditions like that heavy rain and windfall, which are the main events we are watching for this week. Taking a look at that precision cast, pretty clear until we hit Friday evening into early Saturday morning. That's when that rain begins to get here Saturday at 3 a.m. It's going to move out, but again, it's going to be a little heavier rain, and then we're going to be dealing with that on Saturday as well before it finally leaves our area by mid-Sunday. Now, the other part of this system that we got our eye on are these wind gusts. As you can see, as we get into the upcoming weekend, almost 30-degree gusts on Friday. Now, as that rain comes in, even going up to 40 miles per hour. So not a pleasant weekend for your St. Patrick's Day plans. But the good news is that once it moves out by Sunday, we're going to calm down a little bit. 49 degrees on Sunday, so a big cool down, but we're going to warm up again. 54 on Monday, 67 on Tuesday before the rain chances return by Wednesday with 65 degrees. So sadly, this rain looks to be impacting St. Patrick's Day a little bit, but hopefully at least Sunday and Monday shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, I'm really glad that it's at least going to be warm on Friday and Saturday, even if there's going to be rain and wind.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm really excited for all this warm weather that's been going on, definitely. But my main fear right now, obviously, a little bit earlier we had that week of really warm weather into super cold. Do you think there's any chance of that cold weather coming back?
I don't think we're going back to the negatives anytime soon, so you can say goodbye to those. Now, the 40s are a little iffy, but at least the 70s are here to stay for a while.
Yeah, so long as the sun is shining, I am happy.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to get my coat out. But thank you so much, Joe.
Yep.
There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Jake Dickman has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Cameron and Max. One Ball State coach celebrates a historical milestone, and another high school squad secures a three-peat. All this and more next in sports.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Students who can read by the end of third grade are 35% more likely to graduate. I'm Dr. Katie Jenner, Indiana Secretary of Education, here to tell you how reading 30 minutes per day can improve the trajectory of a child's life. Whether you're reading with your child or they are reading independently, this is one of the most important things you can do to help them succeed. So this school year, please encourage your child to continue reading. It's a small habit that makes a big difference.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh.
My lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jake Dickman with sports. Ball State baseball head coach Rich Maloney became the 10th active head coach in Division I to reach 1,000 career wins. NewsLink Indiana's Dakota Atwood joins us with more.
The milestone for Maloney was more of a reflection. However, the Cardinals had to fight back from a 5-run deficit against Purdue Fort Wayne to secure Maloney's 1,000 career win.
our coach was talking about, today's the planned day for it. So we had a lot of people in the park today, and just wanted to get it on this day for them.
30-plus years of coaching baseball all led up to this moment. 1,000 career wins for a dreamer, a winner, a mentor, a coach.
Coaching's a grind. It's really, really hard, and winning's really, really hard. So we've never taken it for granted. And I always tell every young coach, I say, winning's hard. You got to do things right day in and day out. And you got to get your team to buy in. And for me, I've had so many great players that I've had the privilege of coaching. I thank the Lord for that.
Winning just another game wasn't just another game anymore. Father Time started to settle in.
One of those days where the reflection becomes real. And you're just heart of gratitude, really. I mean, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for the privilege to be able to coach for this long. Because now I think moving forward in the future, I think it's going to be rare for guys to coach 30 years.
By not letting his standards change because of expectations, but letting his expectations change because of standards, are a true testament for Maloney and his program.
And that's always been our philosophy. We've always said it doesn't matter who we play. If we play our game and play a clean game, we'll be in the hunt.
The Cardinals are one of the hottest teams in the country, as they've won 6 in a row. For Rich Maloney, it's continuing to build and finish what he and his family started here at Ball State University. At newly named Shebank Stadium, Dakota Atwood, NewsLink, Indiana.
Thanks, Dakota. Taking things to the court, Ball State men's basketball's time in Wortham this season came to a sour close as a loss on senior night illustrates how the season went all year. NewsLink Indiana's Calvin Scott has the thoughts of head coach Michael Lewis.
Last Tuesday, Ball State men's basketball faced off against Central Michigan in their last home game of the season. Although the Cardinals were up by as many as 21 in the game, they ended up falling to the Chippewas 69-67, giving up a last-second shot that fulfilled the Chippewas' comeback. Head coach Michael Lewis denoted the defense and drive being the Cardinals' Achilles heel. He also explained that if they want to get to the next level, their defense and drive has to be constructive and consistent going forward into next season.
Our defense is just not good enough to win games at this level, and that's a disappointing part. So give Central Michigan a lot of credit. They had every reason to lay down. They kept fighting. Their spirit, their competitive spirit, was so much better than ours. And so, you lose a game you should lose, but we've had a few of those.
As for getting to the next level, Lewis explained that adding wins to their record isn't the only recipe to success in college basketball. In fact, it includes the things you least expect.
We're not there. There's too many other things that are important other than winning, in my opinion. And that, it's probably not best I speculate, but that's just, I've been with these guys, and just the mentality to continue to just chip away and do the little things and not get caught up in the emotion of everything and just doing one play after another.
In Muncie, Calvin Scott, NewsLink, Indiana.
Keeping it on the court, Ball State women's basketball claimed victory in the first round of the MAC tournament today. After entering the tournament as the #1 seed, the Cardinals would take on the Western Michigan Broncos. Alex Richard would lead the way with 17 points on 66% shooting, while Allie Becky and Madeline Bischoff each added 14 of their own. The Cards would hold the Broncos to just 5 points in the second quarter, creating a gap that wouldn't close, making for a final score of 82-53. Ball State will be back in action on Friday to take on Kent State in the semifinals. Taking it to the high school hardwood, Delta boys basketball just completed a historic sectionals three-peat. NewsLink Indiana's Emma Deaton got the chance to meet with the coaches and players, making it possible.
History has been made at Delta High School as the boys basketball team clinches their 3rd consecutive championship, marking an impressive three-peat. Head coach Mark Detweiler notes the team got here with teamwork and being each other's biggest fans.
But for this group to be able to get the 3rd straight, we've done it through just great teamwork. They really play well together.
For senior point guard Cooper Bratton, taking leadership as the team approached the Newcastle Fieldhouse as an upperclassman and staying focused was key to securing this victory.
Newcastle is the biggest gym in the world, so everybody was just a little nervous. I mean, it's a championship, as you should be, but just starting in the locker room, just obviously our coaches give us some good words of advice and just getting our guys ready. I mean, I know us seniors are ready, just keeping the underclassmen ready.
Bratton noted winning the sectional championship was awesome, but it's time to look ahead to Saturday's regionals.
We're just going to leave that in the past. Obviously, it's a good achievement, but just focusing for regional, coaches are going to give us some good game plan for a good Fort Wayne team.
As the Eagles approach regionals, head coach Detweiler is confident in keeping the momentum for the team going.
There's never been a moment too big for them. You know, they've always, and I think they showed it last week, they played with a ton of poise. I think that's been their strength all year. Nothing's rattled them. They haven't gotten off to great starts some nights, but it's not rattled them. And so I don't think the moment will be too big for them.
In Muncie, NewsLink, Indiana, Emma Dean.
It seems like a lot of teams around here are really succeeding. The women's basketball team, of course, making it to the semifinals of the MAC tournament. But Rich Maloney, 1,000 career wins, that takes a long time.
Yeah, it's about 30 wins for 30 years. So, I mean, he's been doing an amazing thing over at Ball State and started at Western Michigan. And really sad to see that he didn't get that 1,000 win against his team that he coached first. But being able to get that is just so impressive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about sports, but 1,000 wins is a lot, and he has to be filled with joy and just super proud of himself.
Absolutely. I mean, his family has built a great program here, and it's just great to see him succeeding.
Yeah, thank you, Jake. Coming up, a full moon is in store for this week. Find out what is extra special about this one.
And a final look at your weather after the break.
Yarr! All I wanted was my treasure, and I wound up with a lawsuit from my neighbors. And a belly full of regret.
Thanks, Salty Pete. What a powerful dig story. Okay, great class, everybody. Before we go, let's stand and say the safe digging pledge. Shovels don't know right from wrong, but I do. And always contact Indiana 811 at least 2 working days before digging. It's the only way to dig.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. March's full moon is called the worm moon, and it's extra special because it will be a total lunar eclipse. The first in nearly 3 years to be visible across the U.S. this Friday, March 14th, the moon will look like a striking red color. A total eclipse happens when the moon is full and aligns perfectly with the Earth and Sun. Unlike a total solar eclipse, this celestial event doesn't require special eyewear. You know, with this total lunar eclipse, I'm just really excited, and the weather's going to be pretty beautiful to be able to walk out there and be able to see it.
Yeah, I want to walk out and see a moon, a red moon.
Well, speaking of weather, let's take a look at that final weather forecast. As you can see, those storms are going to be coming in by the weekend, 80% chance of rain on Saturday with that severe threat. But the good news is that it'll move out by Sunday, leading to sunny skies as we go into the next week. 49 degrees on Sunday, 54 on Monday, right back into those 60s by Tuesday with a high of 67. Those lows sadly are going to dip below the freezing point one night, but the good news is we'll get right back up to 51 by Tuesday evening, and the rain chances will be returned by next Wednesday. So looks like after we get past this rain, some good weather ahead.
Yeah, I'm excited for the warm and no rain. I just want to go outside and enjoy the weather, do some studying outside.
I cannot wait to be able to just walk outside, play football with my roommates, because that, you know, I'm a sports guy. I want to be able to play sports in this warm weather, and if I can't, then like, what's the point of the nice weather if it's raining?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate rain. I think it ruins my hair. Thank you, Joe. Yep. That's all for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page, YouTube channel, and WCRD 91.3.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.